All right, so Category A, observation, skill A7, hazard perception. What ICBC says: identify anything in your driving environment that could be a hazard to you or other road users. So what we say is, at some point during your road test, your examiner will ask you to name potential hazards. And it used to be the case where for a Class 7 road test, they would ask you to pull over first and then ask you the hazards. And then for the Class 5 road test, they'll ask you while you're driving. I think now both of them, they ask you while you're moving to save time on the road test. So if you're driving, make sure to maintain your speed as you answer this question. And either way, they're posing this question as if you're driving down the road. So identify hazards accordingly, okay? So some potential hazards are oncoming traffic, right? So if you're driving down a windy road and you're not sure what's happening around the bend, one of our main concerns is, what if a car shows up from the other side, right? In driveways, so anywhere where a car can pull out of, can pose a potential hazard to us. Sure enough, vehicles need to exercise caution before exiting their driveway, but nevertheless, if someone's not paying attention, they can pose a hazard to us, okay? And if there's there's a bend in the road and you've got parked cars here, there's a hedge here, and as you're coming around the corner here, again, it's hard to see what's happening here. Is there a motorcyclist coming? Is there a vehicle coming? Anything to do with pedestrians, kids, animals, so live beings is a hazard. I wouldn't necessarily say squirrels are a hazard, right? We don't suddenly stop for small animals or anything like that, but deer, it can be a hazard. So watching out for pedestrians. And then again, intersections, right? So anywhere where two roads meet is an intersection. So cars might be coming out of an intersection. If you're driving on a residential road and there's no sidewalk here on the sides of the road, then that's also a separate hazard than the pedestrians themselves. So if anyone's walking, they might be walking on the side of the road. So we have to be mindful of that. Coincidentally, a lot of students tend to initially, we haven't discussed this, they see the pedestrian and then they subconsciously start driving towards the pedestrian. And the pedestrians, you can see, they get super scared. So there's no need to drive towards someone. Angle your car away from them as you're driving past them. And if there's no oncoming traffic, give them a bit more room before you go. If there is oncoming traffic and you've got pedestrians walking here, then slow it down as you pass by them so they're not getting spooked out as to what your intent is. And then cyclists, right? I would never be able to drive a bike. Oh well. So anyone on their bike it can be a hazard. And then just trees in general are a hazard because they can block your view of people pulling out of a driveway. So any hedges, trees, anything that's on the side of the road obstructing your view is a hazard. And then sun glare, right? So if the sun is directly in your eyes, that's an issue. And road condition, so this is supposed to be rain, right? But if the road is slippery because of black ice, or if it's raining really hard, or it's snowing, then road condition also factors into this. So when they ask you these potential hazard questions, you don't have to make sentences. You can just say oncoming traffic, pedestrians, cyclists, driveways, intersections. They're looking for 5 of these, generally speaking. If you blank out and can't name one that's there, it's not the end of the test, but each one's worth half a mark. So try to keep your half marks for something else. And if there's no sidewalks, this is a really important one that they like to hear. So keep that in mind.